In this video, we're going to talk about the magnificent cherry tree. You know it for its absolutely iconic spring blossoms, and of course, its rich, dark fruit. But the cherry tree is so much more than that. It's a really beautiful and surprisingly complex part of our world, with a super deep history and a vital role in nature. So, how are we going to get to know this amazing tree? Well, first we'll start with what it looks like. Then we'll check out its global footprint and find out how you can actually grow your own. We're also going to uncover its surprising role as a magnet for wildlife, and finally explore its deep, deep connection with us humans. So let's get right into it. First up, let's figure out what makes a cherry tree, well, a cherry tree. We're going to take a closer look at the wild cherry, which goes by the scientific name Prunus avium. A mature wild cherry is a real sight to see. I mean, it can grow up to 32 meters tall with a trunk that's over a meter thick. But what's really fascinating is its bark. When the tree is young, its bark is all smooth and has this cool purplish color. But as it gets older, it darkens and gets these classic deep cracks. And of course, you got the famous blossoms popping out in spring, but the leaves put on their own show, turning from green to this brilliant mix of yellow, orange, and red in the fall. Okay, here's something that trips a lot of people up. Are we talking about the cherries we eat, or those incredible blossoms you see everywhere in the spring? Well, turns out they usually come from different kinds of trees. Fruiting cherries, they're bred for one thing: delicious fruit. Their flowers are usually pretty simple and white. But ornamental cherries? They're all about the show. They're bred for the stunning, often pink, fluffy flowers. The fruit they made is tiny, bitter, and really it's just a snack for the birds. Now that we know what it looks like, where in the world can you actually find these trees? Let's take a look at where they call home. The wild cherry is a true world traveler. It's originally native to this huge area, all the way from Europe and the British Isles, across Western Asia, and even into parts of North Africa. But because people love it so much for both its fruit and its flowers, it's been planted pretty much everywhere. It's done so well that it's now found in temperate climates all over the globe, from North America to Asia. Feeling a little inspired to plant one? If you're thinking about adding a cherry tree to your own garden, well, you're in luck, because this next section is going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, cherry trees are pretty adaptable, but they definitely have their preferences. They are total sun worshippers, so they need at least 6 hours of direct light every single day. The most important thing for the soil is that it drains well, so the roots don't get waterlogged. And while you'll need to water a young tree pretty regularly, once it's all grown up, it's surprisingly good at handling droughts. And planting one is actually pretty simple. He did a nice wide hole, popped the tree on a little mound of soil right in the middle, and then filled a hole back in. A good trick is to water it when it's partly full, just to let the soil settle. The final touch? A nice layer of mulch to keep the moisture in, that just makes sure you keep it from touching the trunk itself. But you know, a cherry tree is so much more than just a pretty face in the garden. It plays this massive and often totally unseen role in its local ecosystem. It's a real powerhouse. Just look at this number. It really says it all. In North America alone, trees in the Prunus genus, which includes cherries, are the home and food source for over 450 different kinds of caterpillars. That is just incredible. It makes the cherry tree what we call a keystone species, a plant that has this huge effect on its environment, basically holding up the entire local food web. Think of a cherry tree as a bustling little city. It's got its friends, bees are crucial for pollination, and birds like thrushes feast on the fruit and then fly off, planting new trees everywhere they go. But it's not all sunshine and roses. The tree has its enemies too. You've got pests like aphids and tent caterpillars that can cause some real damage, and it can also get fungal diseases or be damaged by really strong winds. And finally, let's talk about us. The relationship between people and cherry trees is long, it's fascinating, and it goes back literally centuries. This quote from a classic Japanese poet really just captures the emotional power of the cherry blossom perfectly, doesn't it? It's this idea that their beauty is so intense but so fleeting that it actually stirs our hearts, making spring a time of both incredible joy and just a little bit of sadness. To wrap this all up, here are 5 awesome facts for you. First, some of these trees are unbelievably old. The Jimdai Sakura in Japan is thought to be over 2,000 years old. Second, its wood is gorgeous and super valuable for making high-end furniture. Third, its American cousin is called the rum cherry because people used to use its fruit to flavor, you guessed it, rum. Fourth, the twigs and seeds actually have tiny bits of cyanide compounds in them, which is what gives about almond-like smell if you scratch a twig. Don't worry, fruit itself is perfectly safe to eat. And finally, people have been eating wild cherries for thousands of years, which just shows how long we've had this delicious connection. So the next time you see a cherry tree, whether it's bursting with blossoms, full of fruit, or showing off its incredible autumn colors, I hope you'll see more than just a tree. You'll see a global citizen, a powerhouse for wildlife, and a deep part of our shared human story. It's a great question to ask yourself. What will you see? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.